Hello and welcome to B4B TV and the City of Culture show. Thank you for joining us. And today we have a very, very special guest with us who is a true community champion. Tony Tokunbo Fernandez is a published author, a poet, writer, public speaker, community champion, multi award winning international personality and a true man of all seasons. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Sohail. It's a pleasure to be on this platform, and I'm still overwhelmed and overjoyed ever since Bradford for Better won the National Diversity Awards 2022 a few weeks ago, Liverpool. So, no better place to be than here at this point in time.
Thank you very much. And yes, thank you for mentioning that. You were a huge part of that, the win and the process leading up to it, and the work that you've done with us in Bradford for Better and beyond. So, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about your experiences. This is the platform that brings real stories, real people, and the real Bradford. And I can say, having worked with you for the past 12 months, you are really bringing a spotlight to Bradford, an international spotlight with the work that you've been doing. So today's episode is actually focusing, and it's a special episode because October is the Black History Month, and you are a big champion of this nationally and internationally. So you have been organizing the Black History Month events in the Houses of Parliament for a number of years, and also in Bradford, where you're going to be holding the event on the 21st of October, Friday, 21st of October, at the Central Library in Bradford Town Centre. So please tell us more about the big event in London, but also the Bradford event as well.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and it's a pleasure. The big events in London, Black History Month celebrations, taking place at UK House of Parliament. Friday, the 28th of October, sold out. Only special guests can attend, so it's completely sold out. But because I moved from London 4 years ago to Bradford, now the city of culture, I took it upon myself that no, I have to take down few community champions from Bradford to represent Bradford as part of that celebrations. And so we have four amazing people coming from Bradford this year. Uh, the Black History Month celebrations at the UK House of Parliament, I started organizing that since 2013, October 2013. And it's all started with a conversation I had with an MP at the time, MP Alok Sharma, Member of Parliament for Reading West, who is now the president of COP26. And he was actually given a speech at the House of Parliament. I was invited to events at the House of Parliament, a book launch, and he was given a speech. And he said that if there's anyone who wants to do things in the community, approach him. He's always approachable. And as he left the stage, I walked up to him and I said, "Sir, I want to have a few minutes of your time. I want to have a meeting with you." A few weeks later, we had a meeting in Reading, Berkshire, and I said to him, "I would like to organize Black History at the House of Parliament." And he said, "Tony, give me a few days to think about it." And he came back in a few days' time and he said, "Okay, let's see what you can do." And so, for the very first time, October 2013, I organized the Black History at Parliament Jubilee Room on a zero budget, and we had people come from all over the country, and it was a birth of a new transition. And so many years later, being here in Bradford, it's an honor to take people down from Bradford to represent us as well, because it's all about promoting our true life stories around the world. In terms of Bradford, I've been organizing a couple of events in Bradford Black History Month in conjunction with yourself and Bradford for Better, who have been very, very supportive as well in terms of media, footage, mileage, and all kinds of things. And so the one in Bradford is going to be taking place on Friday, the 21st of October, which is barely just 3 weeks' time at the City Library in Bradford. It's free, completely free, and it's all about promoting the true life stories of people in Bradford and West Yorkshire. And so it's going to be amazing. It's not just for black people, it's for Asian people, it's for white people, it's for people from different backgrounds. We're going to have some amazing speakers, but we're also going to be giving out some awards to people in Bradford who've been doing great in the community here. And we will also be recognizing, as you know, Bradford for Better for the National Diversity Awards and the big recognition. So, to make Bradford a better place sometimes, we don't need permission from anyone to make that change we want to see in society. It's within us. And I keep on telling people over the years, you don't have to be an MP, a politician to make change in your society. If you have a brain, if you have a vision, you can be the change you want to be in society regardless.
Excellent, excellent, Tony. And I can say, I can truly say from experience in working with you for the past year, um, you've been an inspiration for me personally, but also for B4B. And you're a huge part of the team and B4B TV because it was your platform and the work that you've been doing as a podcaster that really inspired us. Nearly a year ago, I came on your show and saw how you work and the work that you're doing and the way you kind of motivate people and also shine a spotlight on achievers around the world. And you've been doing all that for all this time, so it is inspiring and it really motivates us at B4B as well to see your work. Now, with your the work that you do, as I said, it's national, international. You kind of recently come back from Estonia and Finland, so you travel quite widely. What is it that you feel living here in Bradford now for 4 years? You kind of live here and you work here, but you still have that objective outlook. As an outsider, in some respects as well, you can see the development that perhaps people that have lived, born and raised here might not be able to see objectively. What is it that you see in Bradford? What it defined your choice to come and live here? And what do you see in Bradford that's changed in those 4 years? And where do you see Bradford going?
Um, I came I came here 4 years ago from London. The main objective was to get on the mortgage ladder because, as you know, the South is very, very expensive. So I had to think about, okay, where's best for me? But I've always liked Yorkshire from a young age. I've also had the privilege of traveling to over 40 of UK's 52 city status cities. And so Yorkshire really came to my mind because of its sceneries, its history, its landscapes and everything. But also I wanted somewhere where I could be at peace at. And so this is how I ended up in Bradford because of my mortgage, but embracing also the beautiful West Yorkshire sceneries. One of the first striking things I found when moving here, not just for Bradford, but the north of England and for Yorkshire, was that there was this narrative over the years from people living down south that there were not many jobs up north, there was nothing to do up north, there was no life, it was boring, all sorts of things. And trust me, the first few weeks I moved up north, West Yorkshire, I found out that that wasn't true at all. That was not the case. There were lots of opportunities here. There was good quality of life here. Best restaurants are in the north of England. It was amazing. For me, it was amazing feeling. And I believe coming here was a calling from God. Because sometimes when we visit cities and places and towns, you can have a kind of spiritual connection and things happen for a reason in life. Bradford has a negative image in many quarters down south. At the same time, I find it to be a very unassuming, profound city for its history, for its food, for its unassuming people, for its friendliness, for its character, but also it's a place where you can create legacies if you want to. It's a place with opportunities. Now, those opportunities might not necessarily be jobs out there, but they are opportunities which you can create from scratch and set the pace for a better tomorrow. Uh, so, looking at Bradford now, I mean, you'll agree with me that in the last 7, 8 months, the face of Bradford has changed in terms of migration, students, and everything. It's turning into something, different, completely different in terms of the diversity of people here, but also the new faces, because there's so many new faces now. Um, where Bradford ends up in future really is down to the people. It's down to the people and their resilience and their need to make it a better place. And it will continue to be a better place because it also has some of the best festivals around. Only a few weeks ago, I attended the Bradford Literature Festival, and I was truly amazed. And I can say that it's a very underrated festival as well. You have very many underrated bars and restaurants in Bradford. And when you think about the outskirts of Bradford, places like Ilkley, places like all sorts of places, Saltaire, um, you just see landscapes of beauty, of history, and so much. So, home is what you create to make it a better place. And it's a new home, and it's a new transition for us to change it and make it even better.
Excellent. Yeah. So tell us, Tony, why this event that you're doing, um, 21st of October, the Black History Month celebrations in Bradford, why is it important? Why is it necessary? Why does it matter?
It matters because part of my vision is to promote the true life and success stories of African and Caribbean achievers around the world. And I've been doing that on my international blog for over 10 years. It matters because I've also had the opportunity to promote the true life and success stories by organizing event events for communities in Romania, in Malta, in Germany, in Netherlands, in Switzerland, in UK, in Nigeria, and the States. And now that I live here, it's important to recognize the achievements of Africans and Caribbeans as part of Black History Month. The validation of celebrating our history and our stories has to come from us, no one else. We can't rely on other people to promote our narratives and our stories, and someone has to do it. And I'm sure many people before me have been doing it in Bradford because I'm sure Bradford has big black historians who've set the pace for many years. But our stories depend on us. And celebrating history itself is not just about celebrating the past, it's about celebrating the success stories of what you and I do tomorrow or today to make tomorrow a better place. So, only early this year, as you know, in collaboration with yourself, I organized the Africa for You Awards for Africans in the north of England, which recognized community achievers, African and Caribbean community achievers in Bradford, Leeds, Huddersfield, and Halifax. And the story has to continue because people have to be recognized, acknowledged, and it also brings about self esteem, self worth within the community. Um, I've met a few people in Bradford who told me that it was the first time they received awards, and I was completely shocked because of the legacies they've created within these facilities. Life is about creating legacies. and we have to continue creating those legacies.
Excellent. Yes. Thank you. So, with City of Culture status that Bradford has got for 2025, what do you feel, again, from your experience nationally and internationally, what do you think that will bring to Bradford, firstly? And secondly, do you feel that there is sufficient representation of Black people, Black history within the cultural sector, within Bradford, more than the cultural sector, just generally, but also more focused on the cultural elements in Bradford? Are people represented in the right way and proportionately?
First and foremost, for your first question, the City of Culture will bring in recognition to the outside world. But then again, that recognition has to start from us. It has to start from the council, the people in authorities, the leaders, you and me. We have to bring out that recognition by promoting the Bradford City brand to the rest of the world by the kind of activities we do as well. And so sometimes I think sometimes when we have these kind of initiatives, we have to promote Bradford, but at the same time making it international as well, because it's a way of making the whole world see what Bradford has to offer. So all hands needs to be on deck, really, in promoting that with recognition and making Bradford City of Culture. I mean, 5 years is people think it's a long time. It's not a long time, and every single day matters in promoting that narrative through having a calendar of events and initiatives. I go back to the Bradford Literature Festival again because I think one of the things that impressed me was that people came from all over the country for that event, and maybe that's been the story for many years. But for us to promote Bradford to the rest of the world, it takes initiative, it takes passion, it takes purpose, it takes belief, and it takes an element of patriotism. Um, in terms of having black people in representation in certain authorities, I'm not sure about that. I'm more concerned about people, what they do when they're in it, what role do they play when they're decision making, when in the matter of decision making process. Are they representing people through their actions or not? This is very, very, very crucial itself. And sometimes when there are not enough people in certain authorities to make that change for us, we have to remember, we have to be bold and fearless enough to remember that, okay, it's down to us. I'm a politician in my own rights. You're a politician in your own rights. Because what? We make changes to communities. And sometimes it's about having the resource of ideas and initiatives to make that change and to empower people. It's not always about money. It's also about being strategic, having ideas, and even making a change in people's life through words and through actions.
Yep, brilliant. So, as you know, Tony, we at Bradford for Better are all about making Bradford better in some way. So, what would you say the one thing, if you could change about Bradford to make it better, what would it be?
I think the one thing to change Bradford, and I'm gonna keep it very real, because sometimes in the country we talk a lot about diversity, but sometimes I find that your word is overused. We talk about cohesion amongst communities. Sometimes that word is overused. There's no point having a multicultural city or town in UK if there's not cohesion between all races, proper cohesion, a sense of understanding. That needs to improve in Bradford. There is a disconnect in Bradford that needs to change. It needs to change. And we need to make that change. We need to go a step further to get more involved in people's lives from different races and backgrounds so that that true word of diversity and cohesion is put into practice and it's real.
Yeah, very practical approach, and definitely, I agree with that. I mean, we are recognized as a multiracial, many layers to our city, but they sometimes operate in their own pockets and their own sort of ways of doing things. And it's always good to connect. It's always good to share the different cultures. And we have so much in common with the different cultures. We're all, at the end of the day, communities. We have more in common than we don't have. And it's always interesting to share that and promote each other's achievements. So definitely, yeah. So on a final note, so we have, again, to remind all the listeners, viewers, 21st of October, Friday, um, 5 p.m. onwards in Bradford Central Library. Completely free Black History Month event. You will have special guest speakers, awards. You will obviously have Tony here being the host, and it's an amazing event. Please do come along with your friends, families, work colleagues. It's a lovely evening. Enjoy city centre Bradford, enjoy the sights and sounds, and learn about Bradford's Black history. Meet some of the amazing people doing so much good work in Bradford. Yeah. Anything you want to add? Any final comments, Tony?
Final comments is just a message to all people in Bradford to continue to be the change you want to see in society. Sometimes you'll find yourselves in situations where things don't tend to be working in towns or cities. Just know that it's a reminder for you to do something about it. Keep shining, and wishing everyone a happy Black History Month. And congratulations once again to Bradford for being the UK City of Culture 2025. And also a big congratulations once again to Bradford for Better for winning the National Diversity Awards 2022.
Thank you very much, Tony. You've been great and looking forward to the big events. Thank you.
Thank you so much.